What was the decision which was made by the government, and why it was unacceptable to the local students or the youth, which we call the Bangladeshi youth?
Much to their surprise, the High Court actually ruled to maintain this quota system. And then their appeal went to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court was supposed to give its verdict on the 8th of August. But something somewhere went wrong. The events took a wrong turn. The situation was really, despicable. It was horrific.
How many students, Pakistani students, are in Bangladesh?
They are still with us, and a few of them have moved back to the hostel as the situation improved. And I can tell that 2 of them are flying out to Pakistan tonight.
Anything, particularly when we talk about these incidents, the elements which are hostile to good relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh, there was any sort of impact on bilateral relations of this situation?
No, I think absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bangladesh in the year 2022-23 was more than $1 billion. So all in all, I think we are on the right track. I will not say that, it's all hunky-dory. There is a baggage, of course.
Soft image of Pakistan, better image of Pakistan in Bangladesh, because ultimately Pakistan and Bangladesh are friends. They are members of SAARC, they are members of OIC, they are members of UN.
Well, actually, you see, the cultural affinities are so close to each other. Honestly, we don't have to make much effort for a soft image of Pakistan.
Tell us about this big organization, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC. Where do you see SAARC now?
The only, problem is that, the SAARC has so far not been able to, reach its full potential because of political issues and unfortunately the bigger neighbor that we have.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to program Insight in Videos English. Last week there have been violent protests across Bangladesh. Bangladesh is one of the most important South Asian country, and these protests were led by the young Bangladeshi students. And due to the intensity of the protest, the life across Bangladesh was paralyzed, particularly major cities of Bangladesh, including capital Dhaka. As a result of these violent protests, ultimately, effect was on students as well. And when we discuss students, there have been large number of Pakistani students who have been studying in different Bangladeshi universities and under SAARC scholarship. Pakistan High Commission in Dhaka, led by High Commissioner Syed Ahmed Maroof, took immediate decision and provided shelter to those affected Pakistani students. In today's discussion, we will not only discuss the plight of Pakistani students, we will also discuss what is the latest situation in Bangladesh now, whether the situation is moving to normalcy, what is status of Pakistani students, and Bangladeshi government has also conducted a visit of foreign envoys based in Dhaka to those places who have been severely burned or affected or destroyed by the violent mob. To discuss these all, we are fortunate to have with us Pakistan's High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Syed Ahmed Maroof Sahab. Syed Ahmed Maroof Sahab is Pakistani High Commissioner in Dhaka. Ambassador Maroof Sahab, thank you so much joining Insight.
Pleasure.
So first tell us the latest situation. What is the latest picture in Bangladesh now? Is curfew, is relaxed, life is returning to normalcy? What is the latest situation right now after probably more than 2 weeks of the violent protest across Bangladesh? Ambassador Maroof Sahab.
Well, thank you very much, Mateen Sahab, for having me on your show. Well, as we speak, over the last week, we saw quite an unusual situation in Bangladesh, particularly in Dhaka. But thankfully, the things are not returning to normalcy, and the traffic and the usual hustle bustle of the city of Dhaka appears to have returned in its full strength, and largely, the situation is now fairly under control. but still, there are some apprehensions, and which would obviously, fade away as we move into the coming days and the situation improves. So all in all, I think the situation is getting better and better by each day.
Just for the sake of international viewers and also for the sake of Pakistani viewers, just tell us which was the decision that led to this very strong reaction. What was the decision which was made by the government, and why it was unacceptable to the local students or the youth, which we call the Bangladeshi youth? Just narrate the facts only.
Well, let me first take you to 1972, when the government of Bangladesh then they allocated 30% of quota for those who had participated in the events of 1971 for the creation of Bangladesh, and this practice continued until 2018. And in 2018, the government of Bangladesh, they put ban on that. They stopped this practice. And then fast forward to 2024, this year, the students, they moved the High Court for a decision on this quota government job quota system, in which they essentially wanted this, complete abolition of the quota system. Much to their surprise, the High Court actually ruled to maintain this quota system. And then this was their appeal went to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court was supposed to give its verdict on the 8th of August, but something somewhere went wrong, and the events took a wrong turn. I put it like that. And the students initially started protesting peacefully, but then somewhere something went wrong, and these protests turned violent. And as a result, we saw clashes all across Bangladesh, and the government had to bring in
military and
rapid BGB and all that, and it ultimately culminated into asking the military to come in. But thankfully, I think now the situation is pretty much restored.
So, Ambassador Maroof Sahab, also tell us that Bangladeshi Ministry of Foreign Affairs took the foreign envoys to those locations which have been severely affected, destroyed, burned. What did you see while visiting those places, and what you were told by the Bangladeshi officials?
Well, basically, they took the entire diplomatic corps to tour around the city of Dhaka. Of course, we didn't go to the other cities, and they took us to the places which were, actually ransacked or put on fire. The situation was really, despicable. It was horrific, if I put it like that. And of course, the mobs that were out and about on those 2 to 3 days, they, destroyed a lot of government property, and the diplomatic community, including Pakistan, we expressed our sympathies.
So tell us about, we heard in Pakistan that you were first and quick to take action to shift Pakistani students to safer locations. And we also heard that large number of Pakistani students were shifted to your personal residence. Two things. First, tell us how many students, Pakistani students, are in Bangladesh, those who are on SAARC scholarship. And then what happened actually? Did they make call? How you got connected to the students while they were in stress or in crisis situation?
Thank you, but I think I'll have to reply. My answer would be a bit longish. You have to bear with me. Basically, let me start from this, that, we have 144 Pakistanis altogether across Bangladesh cities, and the largest number of them being in Dhaka, and the second highest number is in Chittagong. And in the very initial days of this whole protest, when it was beginning to turn violent, fortunately, we already had, the WhatsApp groups for each college and university across altogether 17 WhatsApp groups. And in each WhatsApp group, we had appointed a focal person. Instead of speaking to every student, that would have made the things very difficult for us.
Different roles.
Yes. So for every group, there was a spokesperson, there was a focal person with whom we were coordinating. So immediately, once we realized that the things were getting a bit difficult, we reached out to them, and our first advice to them was to stay away from any protest and stay in the hostels. That is the best and safest place for you, we told them for the time being. And meanwhile, we also engaged the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government of Bangladesh, and also the vice chancellors and principals of colleges. So they came in, they were really very helpful. So that's how it all started. And in Dhaka, basically, the students, they were more perturbed because Dhaka was kind of the focal point of their demonstration. So there was a lot of disturbance in Dhaka, so the students were perturbed. So we offered them to come to the high, and we would accommodate them. And many of them, not all of them, but many of them volunteered.
Many of them.
They came to the High Commission, and the number was slightly large. So we decided, to have the women students. We have ladies. Keeping that in mind, we brought the lady students to the ambassador's residence, and the male students, they stayed at the High Commission. I must admit that their facilities at the High Commission for the male students were not as good as the facilities for the ladies here at the residence. But even at the residence, it was not up to the mark. We couldn't quite pull, the kind of environment that one feels at home. But still, whatever we could do, did. And as we speak, we still have like 9 girl students at the residence. And the kitchen is, them, they cook, they eat.
What is status? Students are still at the residence of the High Commission, or they are gradually moving back to their hostels?
Yes, indeed. Actually, the students the female students who are with us here at the residence, they are still with us, and a few of them have moved back to the hostel as the situation improved. And I can tell that 2 of them are flying out to Pakistan tonight. And because there's a little chance of universities resuming the studies anytime soon, so they chose to go back to Pakistan and come back when the university operations resume. And so, the rest of them are with us here at the residence, and I think they're pretty okay.
So, as you said, that 2 of the students are flying back to Pakistan. Any more students are wishing to fly to Pakistan? Because you said that in the days to come, there are no chances of opening of the educational institutions. So that is also a very grim situation.
Yeah, I think I should slightly modify my statement. It sounds more sweeping statement. There's no chance. The government is basically going to announce its plans in a couple of days about the resumption of studies at the universities.
It may take a few weeks more.
Yeah, it may take a few weeks more. But the students who have gone to Pakistan, some of them already had their tickets. They were already planning to go to Pakistan. And possibly, the university may actually resume sometimes towards the end of August. So instead of sitting idle in the hostels and doing nothing, some of them thought that maybe it would be a good idea to go to Pakistan, family and friends, and come back when the things. But I again reiterate that the university might possibly open in a month's time, but I don't see or foresee the universities being closed for indefinite.
Anything, particularly when we talk about these incidents, the elements which are hostile to good relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh, they must have exploited this situation. Give us some analysis. There was any sort of impact on bilateral relations of this situation?
No, I think absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even if there were some elements who had some plans or some
exploit it.
Yeah. Wanted to exploit or something, but thankfully that has not happened because the government of Bangladesh, they are at top of things, and they understand what is right, what is right and what is wrong for our bilateral relations. And we also know that too. So there wasn't any, I cannot quote any single example where I would say that yes, there was some possibility of somebody exploiting the situation. It didn't happen.
Now, coming out of this entire situation, now moving to bilateral relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh. Since your arrival in Dhaka, please tell us what role you have played in further promoting bilateral relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh, particularly at a time when Pakistani leadership is stressing for more foreign trade of Pakistan, more foreign economic and trade relations. So any significant improvement in Bangladesh-Pakistani trade ties?
Well, let me start by, my reply with this bit of a statistics about the trade relations between Bangladesh and Pakistan. You will be surprised, trade with Bangladesh in the year 2022-23 was more than $1 billion. And
more than $1 billion bilateral trade.
Bilateral trade, more than $1 billion. And it is quite significant in the South region. And secondly, trade is going on between Pakistan and Bangladesh. And there are many Pakistanis in terms of, the manpower, the qualified, the skilled manpower. In fact, I visited one of the garment factories, the largest garment factories in Bangladesh. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that there were only, the Pakistanis, heading various departments of that, the whole process of
textile company. Textile, okay.
Textile. And it was interesting to see that, the Pakistanis were there almost everywhere at the key positions. And they are actually contributing to the, the textile exports of industry. It is a healthy sign of relations between the two countries. Secondly, I must share with you here that today, inshallah, we have received kind of information from the Bangladesh side. Inshallah, we are going to shortly sign a memorandum of understanding on cooperation between the Bangladesh Agriculture Research Council and Pakistan Agriculture Research Council. It's a big move of years. That is also going to add to this. And finally, the Bangladesh government has been very proactive in supporting us in our public diplomacy activities. And in the last 6 or 7 months, we have done a number of public diplomacy activities. And we were so happy to generate a lot of interest among the Bangladeshi people and the level of participation that we witnessed in those events. So all in all, I think we are on the right track. I will not say that, it's all hunky-dory. There is a baggage, of course. But given the baggage, we are still, both sides are in agreement to, push forward, despite whatever the historical baggage might be. But both sides are willing to move forward, and that is a very good sign.
Just to ask a supplementary question as far as public diplomacy you discussed. So one of the job description of our diplomats, High Commissioner and Ambassador, is to promote soft image of Pakistan. And of course, when we discuss past events, so Pakistan's image was distorted over there, mainly due to the negative role by the Indians. So tell us latest, you just shared with us that there have been very successful public diplomacy events. Tell us this thing, soft image of Pakistan, better image of Pakistan in Bangladesh, because ultimately Pakistan and Bangladesh are friends. They are members of SAARC, they are members of OIC, they are members of UN, they are members of many regional and international organizations. So Pakistan's soft and better image in Bangladesh.
Well, actually, you see, the cultural affinities are so close to each other. Honestly, we don't have to make much effort for a soft image of Pakistan. I mean, we have so much.
Do love Pakistan?
People they do love Pakistan, and they love biryani the most. In addition to their own biryani, version of biryani, which they call kachi biryani. So
Achievable.
it's fairly different from what the kind of biryani that we make, but they really like it. And there's so many other things. For example, the Pakistani women apparel is so much loved here in Bangladesh. And let me add
That is called traditional dress. Exactly.
yeah, and let me add. Recently, we have seen the J Dot, the Junaid Jamshed's brand. It has been introduced in Dhaka, and I went there to see its inauguration, and it was a wonderful experience to see the Bangladeshi people, the ladies who are thronging that place. So that the soft image is not an issue at all in Pakistan, Bangladesh.
In Bangladesh.
We already have a very good, understanding and sense of each other's culture, and Pakistani movies, Pakistani soap dramas, the family dramas, very much like they do actually watch them because they understand Urdu. A lot of them understand Urdu. So all in all, I think in terms of soft image, I think we don't have to make much effort. But of course, with the responsibility of promoting and representing Pakistan here, we do also engage in such activities. But really, our job is very easy in Bangladesh.
So tell us about this big organization, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC, of which Pakistan and Bangladesh both are members. And both countries definitely have contributed a lot to the goals and the objectives of the SAARC. Where do you see SAARC now? When it was originally conceived and it was created, purpose was to create more linkages for more trade, economy, cooperation in science, technology, and ultimately make the socio-economic development and progress of this particular region, which is considered one of the poorest in the world as well. Ambassador.
Let me begin, Mr. Mateen Saab, with my view of the whole region, SAARC region. You would be surprised. I've traveled quite a lot in Bangladesh. I went to Bhutan as well. I've been to Nepal before, posted there. I can tell you with certitude that one can travel by train from Cox's Bazar, which is the southernmost city of Bangladesh. From
very
Cox's
popular
Bazar,
city. Yes, very popular
Cox's
city.
Bazar, all the way up to Kaftan, Pakistan-Iran border by train.
By train.
By train. You see, Bangladesh and India are connected. Pakistan and India are connected. It's only the traffic between the rail traffic and the other communication between Pakistan and India basically is the problem. But practically, you can actually travel from Cox's Bazar all the way to Kaftan, and if you further extend it, you can actually end up in Britain.
Exactly, to the Britain. Exactly, to the Britain. Exactly.
Yes. And the only, problem is that, the SAARC has so far not been able to, reach its full potential because of political issues. And unfortunately, the bigger neighbor that we have, they have realized that, SAARC has so much potential. And if they start, if they realize the kind of role that they need to play and the kind of rhetoric that they have to step back from, I think there has to be some effort from their part as well, largely from theirs, to make sure that or to make SAARC a success. And I don't see much difference between SAARC, South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, and the European Union. I mean, but all said and done, I still have a firm belief, I hold a firm belief that, ultimately one day SAARC is going to take off. There is no other choice. It will take off. If not in
it will take off.
Now, maybe subsequently in the coming years or maybe decades. But there is no escape from SAARC concept. Ultimately, we'll have to, revert to SAARC.
So this is good education diplomacy that Pakistani students are studying in Bangladesh. Tell us, Pakistan is also one of the finest educational institutions in engineering, in science, in technology, in medicines. Bangladeshi students are also studying in Pakistani universities?
Yes, we do offer scholarships to the Bangladeshi students, and they are actually studying in Pakistan. But the number of Pakistani students in Bangladesh is more than the number of Bangladeshi students in Pakistan. And majority of the Pakistani students studying in Bangladesh, they are studying medicine, and they are here on SAARC scholarship. So in a way, it's not balanced in the sense that there are more Pakistanis in Bangladesh studying and less Bangladeshi studying in Pakistan. But there is a cross change that is going on.
So tell us about now. We are gradually moving to the closing of our program. What is the future of Pakistan-Bangladesh relations in terms of people-to-people contact, in terms of trade and economic ties, in terms of political ties, and in the time to come? Do we see the exchange of high-level delegations between the two countries in order to further promote bilateral relations?
Well, if you ask me, when I compare, let me start like this: compare Pakistan-Bangladesh relations 8 or 9 years ago with where our relations are today. I see a lot of difference. There is a huge difference. We have covered a lot of distance in these last 7-8 years. We have covered a lot of distance, and still we have to make a lot of progress in the coming days. But all in all, I think, as I said before, while answering another question, which was, the cultural and soft diplomacy and everything. Culturally, we are so close to each other. It's for me, for example, it's only the language which I am unable to speak, but otherwise we are so similar. So we already have an advantage between our two countries.
Similar names, similar cultures, exactly.
Exactly. So we are already, a lot of distance is already covered automatically. You don't have to make any effort. And then the political and economic and all those things, they are actually, going to go hand in hand. And I'm pretty sure in the coming years, months and years, these are going to improve. And I'm pretty hopeful. And there will be a day when you will see that, we will realize, both sides will see the realization of the potential that the two countries have in terms of economic, trade, and so on and so on. It's a never-ending opportunities that are waiting to be exploited by countries.
Dear viewers, as Pakistani High Commissioner Syed Ahmed Maroof concluded that future of Pakistan-Bangladesh relation is very bright, and in various fields, these bilateral ties, this bilateral cooperation is going to be consolidated, going to be increased in the days to come, which will be beneficial for both countries, particularly the rise in bilateral trade between Pakistan and Bangladesh. Thank you so much indeed, Ambassador Syed Ahmed Maroof Sahab, for speaking to Program Insight in B News English. And dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Allah Hafiz from studios.